Welcome to From Dial Square to Where. Here's a little piece of our great club's history.
Here's Mr. Herbert Chapman, the famous manager, with his lads at Highbury. And now I'm going to ask him to introduce them to you. Mr. Chapman?
I must apologise this morning. I'm so husky I can scarcely speak. But my deputy, old Tom Whittaker, will perform. Now, Tom, do it something. All right. On my right, Boy Baston. Plays outside left. Alec James, next. Wee Alec is called. Plays inside left. Jack Lambert, our smiling centre forward. Bob John, a Welsh international left half. Herbert Roberts, our tall centre half. Little Charlie Jones, another Welsh international. Frank Moss, our goalkeeper. Lancashire lad. David Jack, our inside right. Joe Hume, our flying outside right. And the popular captain, Tom Parker. He's not so old as he looks, by the way.
La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da, all good pals and jolly good company.
Hello, you wonderful people. This is Andrew, the Hinkley Gooner, and this is my first episode of my long-awaited podcast, From Dial Square to Where. Been meaning to do it for ages and ages. One thing after another keeps cropping up, but hey, you've just got to get on with it, haven't you? I hope you do enjoy it. I hope you can engage with these podcasts. It's going to be a different one. It's going to be quite light-hearted. I'm not going to be concentrating on all the Arsenal players, Arsenal matches, the pre and post match discussions on the team, etc. We all know that there's a lot of Arsenal podcasts out there that do an extremely good job of that, and I'm not going to go that direction. My podcast is going to be all about the wonderful world of Arsenal Twitter, and it's all the Arsenal fans on there, and we think we can all agree that it provides 365 days a year worth of fantastic content on there. Some of it positive, a lot of it negative. And we think we've got a massive reputation for being really over the top, the world's going to end type of Arsenal fan. And I think we can all have a bit of a sit back and dissection on all the stuff that goes on there on a daily basis, and I think we can have a bit of fun along the way. So I hope you're going to enjoy. I hope you're going to engage with the podcast. You can always message into the podcast. You can leave me messages, and I will give you the email address where you can email me if there's anything you want me to discuss or talk about on the podcast going forward. I'm going to be having a good look through the tweets on a daily basis, and I'm going to be bringing you the podcast initially once a week, and then we can look at taking it to be a little bit more episodes moving forward, perhaps twice a week. I'm going to play it by ear moving forward and see how we get on. The good thing is as well that I'm going to be having a partner on a lot of the podcast episodes, and the different thing about it is that the partner on the podcast is going to be a non-Arsenal fan, in fact a non-football fan, and I think it's going to be a fantastic way of getting a completely different view on how over the top Arsenal fans are on Twitter, and they're going to be very, very subjective and completely unbiased. So that's going to be fun as well, just to see, get a point of view from someone that's completely out of the equation when it comes to Arsenal and football itself, and just get that person's point of view across. And the good thing is that the person I've got in mind, I think, will provide quite a bit of humour along the way as well, which is going to be fantastic. So let's introduce you to the partner on the podcast, and without further ado, we can then move on to the tweets of this week. Right, so here we go then. This is my partner, not only on the podcast, but in life. This is Dawn. Hello, Dawn.
Hi there.
So, we've got to discuss a few things about the Twitter, as we mentioned, but there was a post on there the other day about your 6 favourite box sets or TV shows, etc. So what would you put down for yours?
Well, is it TV shows or movies as well? Type
No,
box sets
not movies. No,
not movies, just TV shows. Like then, Banshee, Breaking Bad,
yeah,
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I see a little pattern here appearing.
Yes,
I know you didn't know mine until just about.
No. What would be the other one? Did they say Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Until it got repetitive. Game of Thrones. How many is that?
5. Do you know what? I'm struggling to remember my 6 as well. I have to look it up.
Can I come back to the 6th one in a minute?
Yeah, we'll come back to the 6th
have a
one.
think. I've not watched TV for that long. I can't remember.
And what about movies? Top 3 movies? Can you think of any? What your top 3 be? It's very hard, I know.
What, like box sets or?
I know, just movies.
I love all the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And the
you can have those as one movie, not the box set.
Pirates of the Caribbean, I absolutely love, and also the Hobbit and the other thing that Gandalf was in.
Lord of the Rings.
That'd be the one, yes.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that would be mine. Putting myself on the spot here now as well. I think probably I like all the old sort of 80s comedies and 90s comedies as well, like Steve Martin and so on. I like the Brewster's Millions.
Right, that was a good one, yeah.
Love Brewster's Millions as well.
And Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, definitely.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills, that was a very good one.
That was a good one as well. Planes, Trains and Automobiles, like that one.
I don't think I've seen that.
Cool Runnings.
Oh, that was a good one.
I love Cool Runnings.
1 for the money, 2 for the shows, 3 for the something now. Go, go, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's bobsled time. Kiss the Egg. Kiss the Egg. Kiss the Egg. Oh yeah. And Are You Dead?
What was the Golden Child one with Eddie Murphy?
Oh, God.
I want the knife.
I love America. Hey, fuck you too. That was great. That's Coming to America, actually. That wasn't the Coming. What was it? Yeah, it was Coming to America. That one. Oh, they're all good. All good. Beverly Hills Cops.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. They're good. Lethal Weapons. Star Wars.
Stop there. Star Wars, yes. There's so many. You can't really pick just 3.
I can't pick 3, no.
Favourites, can you? Because it's so many.
Just that Walking Dead was great until bloody Negan came into it as well. That was a bloody shit then, to be honest. Dragged out and got flipping boring. Completely and utterly changing, what's his name, Rick. His personality overnight.
Yeah.
Like he went from a real hard man wanting to kill people to like, oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Yeah, that was a bit of shit then. Anyway, so yeah, what we're going to do then, I'll have a look for some tweets in a bit as well, and then you can sort of chip in with your completely coming at everything from a different angle. as well. That'd
You
be
mean
quite
my
good fun.
no knowledge of football whatsoever?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but that's good either way, because you won't be sort of blinded by Arsenal in football and everything like that. You can just put a bit more of a different slant on things.
Okay.
So that'd be fun.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll dip in and out of things. I'm sure you might not be wanting to do every single podcast. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but hopefully you will.
Okay.
And then we can sort of take it from there.
Marvellous.
So today on Twitter, I put out a post about selling players to Manchester United and how much and how little sense it makes. It gets me so frustrated when you see tweets rather of people saying that they'd consider it, knowing full well what happened last time we did that. We sold our top striker to them. And what happened? They went and won the league the following season because of our top striker scoring 30 plus goals and being player of the year. And I can't believe that anyone would even consider selling Aubameyang to Manchester United, no matter how much money we got for him. I had a bit of banter with a Man United fan about it, saying, "Oh, you sold us your players in the past. What's the problem?" Well, you obviously haven't read my tweet, mate, because I said that if anyone really would support, any Arsenal fan would support us doing that, then they should just fuck off to Manchester United with him as well, and I'd be done. I'd be done with the club if we did that again. I really would, and I'd want to. The one good thing that some Man United fans did was when they, had real troubles with their club, they went off and they set up FC United of Manchester. And I would just want to do something like that, to be honest with you. I would just go and look at setting up AFC Arsenal and start again right from the bottom and have a club that I could be proud of once again. I got a bit of support for that from some of the Twitter guys that will be speaking about it. So yeah, that's what I'll think about that one. And also about massively all over Twitter today is Wilfried Zaha, sorry, saying that he wants to come to Arsenal now. What is his dream move all of a sudden? And the price being quoted is approximately around sort of the £80 million mark, which I just think is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, he's a good player. Yes, we haven't got any player like that. He would improve the squad. But at his age, and with the statistics that you see he's been producing over the last 5 years, 32 goals in 5 years, 20 assists in 5 years. I mean, we've already got a Mesut Ozil that produces those kinds of figures. Yes, he's, like I say, he engages players, he does all these fancy step overs, he wins penalties. But for 80 million quid, I'd want a lot more than that. I want a lot more of those stats. For that sort of price, we can get Nicolas Pepe, who's got far better output than him, and he's far, far younger. We'll get a lot more years out of him. We'd also get a hell of a lot more resale value on him. But on top of that as well, I would love to see our wide forward players, and coming through the academy. I'd love to see them get a chance ahead of paying 80 million quid on someone when we can spend that money elsewhere within the squad. In my opinion, I think if you're going to blood the young academy players, and I really, really hope we are going to do that this season, then there's no better place on the pitch than to have them as wide sort of forwards cutting in. They can just let them express themselves. Just tell them to go out there and enjoy themselves and express themselves. And that's what you need to do with these academy players. I know it's more difficult to blood the youngsters in different other areas of the pitch where they can be more exposed in defence and defensive midfield, etc. But the good thing is that a lot of the youngsters we're all talking about, such as Reece Nelson, Amici, Smith Rowe, Saka, Joe Willock as well, definitely got to be thrown in there. It's one of those academy players with massive potential. I mean, Joe Willock really shone in that little cameo he had in the final, and he really is a potential Ramsey replacement, in my opinion, as well. He arrives late in the box, he causes a bit of havoc, and that's exactly what Ramsey was famous for, arriving late in the box and scoring and getting onto the second chances in the box and drawing players away. And Reece Nelson, I think he started off like a house on fire in Germany, and it's no surprise that a lot of the big clubs around Europe are being linked with Smith Rowe and Nelson, etc., and Amici, because they are of a high quality. But we're never going to get the opportunity to see that high quality if we don't give them a chance. And if you put yourself in their position just for 1 second, I know it's a hard thing to do, but just think about it for a moment. They all grew up together within the academy since, very young age, and they've been absolutely desperate to play for Arsenal. And if we don't give them that chance, because we're bringing in players ahead of them without even them getting a chance to show what they can do, it makes you think, what's the point? You're just going to jack it all in, and all the players in the academy around them as well, they're going to think, what's the point? Reece Nelson's not getting his chance. Smith Rowe's not getting his chance. And the one player I really do feel sort of passionate about as well is, the guy, Christian Bielik, who's been with us only since he was 16, but that's 5 years now. And extremely promising. He's done everything that we've ever asked him to do. Sent him out on loan. Had a fantastic season last year, especially. Massive rave reviews from all the fans. And obviously the club itself at Charlton. And played the whole season in a really tough league in League One. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a lot harder than playing under 23 football. It's a lot harder than Ligue 2 in France, where we're looking at a lot of our players from as well. And he helped them win promotion, man of the match in the playoff final, and from there went straight to the under 23s, and he really shone in the under 23s. Just showed the whole world how good he is on the ball, what a competent player he is, versatile player as well, adds a lot more height into our team to defend set pieces. Like I say, the versatility obviously covers midfield, covers central defence. So please, let's just give him a chance as well. I think that he could literally be in and around the first team squad next season, no question at all. And if we don't get a chance to buy another central defender, then put him up alongside Socrates this season. Give him a chance, especially throughout the whole pre-season as well, on the tour with the USA, etc. I think if we get a massive good look at him throughout that time, I think that'll be really beneficial to us all. So yeah, as far as Louis Zaha is concerned, do one, son. Also today, there was the release of the new promotional Adidas video with our new kits on them, and the beautiful kits they are, looking like a good old retro kit back from my days in the 90s. And what I was really pleased to see was that they also included David Rocastle, my favourite ever player, Tony Adams as well. Shame that Ozil was on it, but never mind. But yeah, the use of David Rocastle, that was really, really good touch. from whoever chose to do that as well. But the whole video itself was just fantastic. Probably the best promotional video I've ever seen. And it really sort of whet the appetite for the season ahead. So let's hope that it really inspires the players onto better things this season. Another thing that sort of leads me on to really is the fact that I've had a bit of banter really with, well, I always have banter with Spuds, but there's one today that was sort of giving it large really, and it makes me really laugh because over the last 3 seasons, I'd say it's Tottenham's best squad, obviously in decades, since they won the double in 1961, and over the last 3 years, it's probably coincided with Arsenal's worst squad over the last 2 or 3 decades, arguably, as well. And the fact that we only finished with this bunch of players that we've got at the moment 1 point behind them. And let's not forget that Spurs lost 20 games last season in all competitions. And the best ever Spurs squad that got to the Champions League final and hilariously lost only finished 1 point and 1 place above our team. And that just speaks volumes really. And they're still not 1-0, and they still get all the praise and everything. And when Arsene Wenger, I think it was 17 years on the trot, he got us into the top 4, and we were roundly mocked because we were accused of saying that top 4 was a trophy, etc, etc, etc. But with that squad, it just shows you how deeply disappointing that capitulation was at the end of the season, losing that final as well, the way we did. Oh dear, we had 3rd in our hands, but there you go. Let's hope for better things next season. Let's hope this new kit inspires the players, and let's hope to see some great new players and the youngsters playing their hearts out for the badge next season in that mint kit. No, I don't mean mint as in that foul colour that we had given to us by Puma last season. Oh God, it makes you feel sick. Thank you for listening to the first episode of From Dial Square to Where. I'll be looking to produce 1 a week initially, and then I'll be probably upping the ante a bit further down the line. So thanks again, and goodbye from me, and goodbye from
From me as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.